turning on the recording, and today we are going to speak about the second step in strategy crafting process. Today we are speaking about objectives. Actually, we spoke a little bit about this task during the previous course, but now I'd like to discuss it in detail first of all, and also today we are speaking how to connect objectives and how to support objectives with tasks. And speaking a little bit forward, it will be your next task to create 10 objectives for your company and to support every objective with at least 2 tasks. So, what is objective? Objective is some result, and we have, having formulated the mission statement for our company, we have to divide these big general result. It's not in a result, I mean mission statement. It's like a general purpose of existence for a company. So we have to transform these general purpose of existence. We have to transform it to some small results, and we name these small results of activity as objectives. And without this supporting our mission will be only like nice words and nothing else. So what is an objective? An objective is a result which must be attended by some time. Actually, sometime it could be not only a result, but also some state of the system. It means, for example, it could be an objective to enter a new market. But in this case, it is not quantitative but quality result. But anyway, we have to support any qualitative result with some figures, with some quantitative result. So anyway, we can say that an objective is a result which must be attended by some time. And we spoke about it during 2 courses, but some students feel some inconvenience when I'm asking them about the difference between an objective and a task. So the difference is really huge. An objective is a result. Objective, we cannot say that you have to perform an objective. You have to attain an objective, but task is an activity to attain this objective. So it is possible to say that you have to perform the task, but it's not possible to say that you have to attain the task. It's a mistake. So in simple words, speaking not with the help of terms of strategic management, we can say that when you are saying as a manager, so you have to do this to your subordinates, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this, you are setting tasks for your subordinates. And I do hope that you remember from our previous course that usually tasks are set not for every person, but for positions within a company. Because if a company is very big, it's not possible to repeat every task for everybody several times. For example, in our university, we have more than 100 departments, only educational departments, I would say. And if speaking about all departments, I think it must be more than 120 departments, if speaking about all departments. But if speaking about only educational departments, okay, our rector usually says, okay, the heads of department have to support me with some information, and he doesn't say it in the way that the head of management department, Lena Prokhorenko, has to support me with the information. The head of marketing department, Reiko, has to support me with the same information. So our rector doesn't have to repeat the same information 100 times. So it means that he says, okay, all heads of department have to prepare some information. That's all. And with the help of this picture, I tried to explain that usually every objective must be supported not with one task, but with a set of tasks. So with several tasks. And we can say that that an objective is our target, and these like road, these points of the road, these milestones are the tasks on this road to the objective. And I'm stressing one more time, I began with it our lecture, that without transforming mission statement to specific measurable objectives, it is only, I mean, mission statement is only nice words and nothing else. And that is why your next task will be transforming the mission statement that you have formulated at the previous stage to the objectives. If speaking about the requirements to the objectives, it must be measurable, and every objective must have a deadline. So it's not possible to set an objective like to reduce costs, to become more efficient, because from this definition, it's not possible to understand the deadline for this activity, for this target, and the how by what volume we want to decrease, for example, our costs. And it is possible to say then that, okay, we reduced costs, we have reduced cost by, for example, 100 hryvnias, that's all. And you as a manager would think that, okay, I wished that our costs would be reduced by at least 10%. But if you haven't written it, it's not possible to ask your subordinates to present the results of these activities. And actually, there are two main requirements to the objective. It must be measurable and it must have deadline. But I'm reminding you that we have the brilliant SMART rule for all objectives, that any objective must be specific, it must be measurable, it must be attainable or achievable, it must be relevant to strategy, and it must be time-based. A short reminding this information specific, it means that everybody in your company must understand what result must be attained. So when you prepare the objective, it must be clear for me, for a reader, that something should be that what should be attained. It must be clear, and it shouldn't be any misunderstanding in the sentence in the objective. Measurable. It must be mentioned what result must be attained, and we will speak about it also a little bit later. But now I'd like to stress that this measurable for you now means that you have to set an objective in figures. If it is not money, it must be formulated in money and in some units, and it must be presented in such form that you have to, for example, decrease cost from 100,000 hryvnias to 90,000 hryvnias, only like this. You can add a percentage, but it is if you like to do it. But general rule, you have to prepare the objectives without percentage, without. Attainable. It means that everybody in your company must believe that theoretically it is possible to achieve this result. And you remember this statement from the course management, that if you set an objective in unattainable or in unachievable form, so people will do nothing, because they in this situation they would understand that they would be punished anyway. So to do something and be punished, or to do nothing and be punished. So in this very case, I think the subordinates will choose the second possibility. Relevant. All the objectives must be relevant to mission, must be relevant to strategy, but also it must be interconnected and interdependent. For example, it is very usual mistake when creating, then preparing these tasks. I mean, within course paper for students. Students formulate like this, that the first objective is to increase the volume of sales, in 10%. But the next objective is that our next objective is to enter the new market and to sell more products at this new market. And this additional volume of sales is bigger than general increasing volume of sales for the company. Okay, so it's in this situation, it's clear that at least one objective is not relevant to the strategy. And also any objective must have a deadline. It must be time-bound, so it must be clear for everybody that we have to attain the result within some time interval. If speaking about the classification of objectives, today we are speaking about two classifications. The most important, I think, classification of objectives is dividing them into financial performance and strategic performance. And any company needs both objectives in financial domain and also in strategic performance. If speaking about financial objectives, I'm stressing that, and I added here that it's not objectives, but it is like main direction for the objective, because it's just a phrase, because if you prepare such objective, like for example, it is written here, growth in revenues, it means that we do not have any figures here, so this objective is not measurable, and we don't have deadline here, and this objective is not supported by tasks, so it's just a phrase. But it means that I only wanted to present here just direction, and you can use this screen as a tip when you create your objectives for your company. So what directions could be the following: growth in revenues, growth in earnings, higher dividends, wider profit margins, and etc. Vice versa, strategic objectives and main direction of strategic objectives are connected with non-financial indicators. So generally, all of the directions are connected with supporting of competitive advantage, or they are like a result of supporting of making your strategic competitive advantage more powerful, like this. And main principle of strategic management is that a stronger long-term competitive position better than short-term profitability. It more may be connected with the companies from Western Europe and US, because it is possible to prolong our tax obligation in some cases, and with the help of this prolongation, we can have better financial performance in our reports compared with our situation which we have now. And maybe you remember the problems, for example, with Exxon company. Then the reports were quite okay, but the company became bankrupt. So the general principle is that stronger position in current situation is much better than short-term profitability. I'm sorry for interrupting. And the second classification of objective is dividing them into long-term objectives and short-term objectives. And also objectives must be formulated at all levels of company. You remember from our previous lecture that we have 4 levels of strategy: corporate level, business level, financial level, and operational level. But as far as you are creating a business strategy within our course, your objectives must be connected with business level, with functional level, and with operational level. Because you are in your paper, you are speaking only about one strategical business unit. That's why in your course paper, it's not possible to include objectives of corporate level strategy or corporate strategy. And every objective must be supported by the set of tasks. And this set of tasks also must be defined at the stage of strategy crafting process. So any objective must be formulated like this. And dear students, please use this screen as a template for your objectives. To reduce production costs by 4% from 2 within some year until some date. And the first is an objective, and this objective must be supported by at least 2 tasks. It is here to use modern power-saving technologies and to use energy-saving light bulbs at the plant or the offices. So please use this template for all tasks in your course paper. Some objectives can be measured only indirectly. For example, if speaking about the customer satisfaction, theoretically we can formulate, and not only theoretically, it could be our, it not only could be, it must be our objective to increase customers' satisfaction. But if you are formulating these objective in the way of how it is written here, to increase customer satisfaction by 5% by some year. From this definition, from this objective, it is not clear. To us what we have to do, how it can be measured, So that's why I'd like you to use this form of formulating the objectives, and if using this very form, this objective will be formulated like this: to decrease number of complaints by 5% from 100 per month to 95 per month. Okay. So please be sure that you have included not only target in percent, but also the target in some units. If you cannot do it, it means that something is wrong, and you have to add something to your maybe you have to add some other key performance indicator to your objective. And the third task within the project is to set 10 objectives with smart technology, and to support every objective by at least 2 tasks. And I'm stressing one more time that all the 10 objectives must be formulated in these form, and approximately 50% of the objectives must be connected with strategical performance, and approximately 50%, another half, must be connected with financial and strategic performance. The first half with strategic, the second half with financial performance. Okay, and now I'm stopping the recording, and we will organize a small workshop. And as it was